Hello, my name is Jim, and I'm your recovery coach. What are you recovering from? Could it be drug abuse, alcoholism, a failed relationship, or just one of those situations in life where you seem to be stuck in some situation and you don't know how to get out of it? Whatever it is, I'm here to help you. Today I want to talk about a process I call numbing out. Numbing out is what you do when you feel an overwhelming emotion and you just want to get rid of it. Think of the guy who just broke up with a girlfriend. What do you expect him to do? Probably go to a bar and have a couple beers. Drowning his sorrows. It's a familiar concept. That's what numbing out is. It's when you're feeling a really, really strong emotion and you just don't want to feel that way anymore. But you can't change the circumstances that led to you feeling that way, and so you try and kill the emotion. Could be by drinking, could be by drug use, could be by any other kind of behavior. It's just a matter of not facing the emotion and processing it. It's a matter of trying to get rid of the emotion or cover it up. It's kind of like having a pimple where you put makeup on it. The makeup doesn't make the pimple go away. It just covers it up for a little while, and before long it wears off, and the pimple is still there or keeps coming back. That's what numbing out is like. It's like putting makeup on. It doesn't really address the core problem. We need each other. We're human beings, and as human beings, we're mammals. And like all mammals, we tend to operate in groups. Families, tribes, groups of friends, whatever. We're social creatures, and it's really, really important that we have other people around us to whom we can relate. It's also really important that we relate on an emotional level with each other. I heard of a very interesting experiment that a guy in Vancouver conducted one time, where he was a psychological researcher, and he kept a bunch of rats in a cage. And for his experiment, he offered them two types of water. One was plain water, and the other one was water laced with heroin. Guess what? Every one of the rats became a heroin addict. Then something happened. Oh, he reached the conclusion that, given the opportunity, given the choice between being an addict or not being an addict, when the drug is placed in front of you, people will become addicts. Then he had an example where a member of his family had to have a knee replacement operation. And for a painkiller, they gave her an opioid-based drug, oxys or perks, one of those. And according to his conclusion, he expected this person would remain an addict. Well, guess what? Family and friends gathered around, gave her tons of support, helped her, and once the pain had subsided enough, she was able to stop using the opioid without any problem. And this made him question the results of his own findings, so he created a different experiment. This time he created something he called a rat park. Instead of keeping the rats in individual cages, he let them all play together. He created one big cage with things for them to do. Things to run around in, places to hide, lots of room to scurry about. And the really important thing is the rats were together. The boy rats and the girl rats could frolic together. They could make little baby rats that they would take care of. They've operated as a group, as a family, and they were in contact with each other. And then he did the same thing. He gave them the choice between regular water and water laced with heroin. Guess what? They all chose the regular water. None of them became addicts. And his conclusion was that the cure for addiction was companionship. Now, for companionship to be really meaningful, we have to be able to connect with each other in meaningful ways. And often that means relating to each other on an emotional basis. You might recall from an earlier video that I said there's 6 basic emotions. The 6 basic emotions that we as humans feel tend to be anger, disgust, fear, happiness, sadness, and surprise. So I want to ask you to pay attention to yourself. I want you to listen for yourself and see if you're feeling any of those emotions or other emotions. Try to tune into yourself every now and then and just see what kind of emotions are you feeling, especially when you've got a strong emotion. Think about what is the emotion and what caused that emotion to come about within you. Then I want you to try one other experiment. Next time you talk to somebody, listen not just for the literal content of whatever it is they're telling you. Listen for the emotion that they seem to be conveying to you. It can be as simple as saying, "You sound angry. You sound really sad." And you don't have to limit to those 6 emotions. It could be, "You sound like you've got some anxiety going on," or "You sound disappointed." Whatever it is, just try that exercise of reflecting back an emotion to somebody of what you seem to be hearing. I'm going to make a bet that when you hear the results of reflecting an emotion back to somebody, you're going to feel the emotion of surprise.